going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Stone, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk to come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Estates at Griggs, where luxury meets convenience in every aspect of your living experience. Located in the heart of Houston's vibrant Third Ward, this community offers a unique blend of urban energy and serene living. Imagine living in a place that offers the perfect blend of elegance and accessibility, where every detail is designed to enhance your lifestyle. Nestled between the nation's largest medical center and the rich cultural tapestry of the historic Third Ward, the Estates at Griggs provide a unique living experience that combines the best of both worlds. Just 5 minutes away, you'll find the world-class University of Houston and the historic HBCU, Texas Southern University, making it an ideal location for students and educators alike. Whether you're a student, a professional, or an investor, this prime location is designed to meet your needs, offering a dynamic environment that caters to a diverse range of lifestyles. Each home at the Estates at Griggs is designed with the highest standards, featuring modern kitchens, spacious living areas, and elegant bathrooms, all with breathtaking views of downtown Houston, the medical center, and the Galleria, providing a picturesque backdrop to your daily life. Our homes offer upscale family living and luxury student living with our 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom design, ensuring ample space and comfort for everyone. Everyone enjoys full amenities and privacy, making this a great home for your family or an ideal investment. Enjoy exclusive access to premium community amenities that cater to your every need, from fitness to relaxation and socializing. Living at the Estates at Griggs means you're never far from the best that Houston has to offer, with a vibrant dining scene, shopping districts, and beautiful parks all within reach. We also make your dream home a reality with our one-time close financing program, which simplifies the home buying process. Finance your land purchase and construction in one seamless transaction, with 0% down for those who qualify, making it easier than ever to own your dream home. Discover luxury living in the heart of one of the fastest-growing cities, where modern urban living meets timeless elegance. The Estates at Griggs, your dream home or a smart investment for the future, offering both luxury and long-term value. Visit us today to learn more and schedule your tour. Our team is ready to help you find the perfect home that meets all your needs. The Estates at Griggs, where luxury meets opportunity.
All right, all right. So great day, everybody. Again, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. This is a base presentation. My name is Terrell Bilbo. A little bit about me, man. I've been in the real estate game for about 22 years now. Started off in mortgages, me and my cousin. I've always been around family business. So we started our mortgage company, did that for about 5 to 8 years. And then we got into building. We did everything that you can think of, fix and flips, assignments, everything that you could think of in the real estate game. And for the last 7 years, we've been primarily focused on new construction. Some of you guys know, if you've been in real estate, you know that the fix and flip game, everybody thinks that they know how to do it. We grow up in the DIY era where everybody thinks they're investors. So it kind of skewed and saturated the market. So we said, instead of trying to look for inventory, we'll create the inventory. And what it did, it opened up a lot for us as far as understanding how this thing actually works. And then the bigger thing of it is understanding, how do we give this opportunity to everybody else? And that's more than anything. You'll hear more from us about how our community and our vision for the people is more important than just selling a piece of property, right? So right now, Base is a development company that we're focused on high demand products. What does that mean? Right now, we're looking at a space where there's a tremendous need and the population is growing in Houston, Texas, like you would not believe, right? So we're raising $2 million. And for those who want to participate with us, you'll learn more about that opportunity as we go along. All right. You can get my. All right. So what is the problem that we solve? So if you look at, as of today, as of 2024, Houston is facing a shortfall of around a 90,000 affordable housing, right? Entry level 350,000. If you look at the average price of homes in Houston, you're looking at anywhere from 420 to 500,000. So if you look at how with interest rates and everything that is going on in the economy, it's harder and harder for people to afford a property. And then if you look at rental rates, right? So right now, if you're looking at rental rates, you have to make 3 times the rental rate, and you're paying anywhere from like 2,000 to 2,500. So we say if you're going to pay that much for a property that you don't own, why don't we build something that people can actually have ownership? Right. So when we look at what is our solution, it's about building high demand entry level properties. And then also one of the things that is very needed in our economy and in our space is student housing. So we look to tackle that as well. But the ownership is what's really important to us, giving people a piece of that American dream that people talked about, that our moms and dad had an opportunity to acquire, but now most people don't have that opportunity. And Base is want to make sure that we're giving that back to the community. All right. So when we look at our market conditions, again, like I talked about, population growth. I don't know about you guys, but if you're here in Houston, Texas, it looks like we woke up overnight, and then there was just a lot more traffic going on. And if you understand that, if you're in Houston, you got to be where you are, before a certain time, or you got to allot yourself at least an hour and a half to get where you're going. If not, you're gonna be stuck in traffic. So population growth, Houston is one of the fastest growing populations in the United States. So, and then when we look at our educational institutions. Myself being a Prairie View grad, looking at TSU, University of Houston, and Prairie View, student housing is a tremendous problem in our area. I remember when I was a freshman, it was a problem. So that was many years ago, and all these universities have done nothing but grown since then. And then when you talk about the housing demand, again, we talk about it. We have rates that are the highest they've been in a while. But when you have a property that's at 400,000, 500,000, that makes it harder and harder for people to actually own and be able to maintain those properties. So we want to attack that. And then strategic locations. Third Ward is in my heart. My mom is a CUNY home baby, went to Yakes, so the Third Ward area is very special to me. So we're looking to revitalize that area of town, put that mixed use back in there where, you don't have just the 3 stories or the 4 stories going up 500,000 and up. You have some more entry level properties in that space where everybody has an opportunity to live and grow, and again get that piece of the American dream. And then also look at the proximity to where it is. It's strategically located. You have downtown, you have the medical center. So all of these things matter when you look at property value. And then when you buy a home, what is it going to be worth in 3 to 5 to 10 years? That's how you build that equity. That's how you build that long-term wealth. And that's what we're looking to accomplish with Base. Right. So I'll pass it to my brother. This is a little bit about what we're doing in the investment and the opportunity that you guys have to participate with Base.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Good deal, man. Great opening, Terrell. I appreciate you, Mr. Bilbo, for everything you do, sir. I was just in the chat finding out what some of my people are calling in from, and we got some folk from Baton Rouge. You got Louisiana in there. I see some Alabama in there. Man, there's some good stuff from Texas. From all over. I seen our dear sister, Ms. Morris, she was agreeing with you how Texas traffic has picked up like crazy.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
I
You better
got some
pack a lunch
Marietta,
if you're going anywhere in Texas,
California.
anywhere
Every
in
time I
Houston.
come to Houston, I'm like, man, I thought they said it was 10 miles. Why is it taking me an hour? Like this just doesn't make sense. But the population has definitely grown. Good afternoon, everybody. For those who I don't know, my name is Adrian Sloan. Definitely excited to be on this call with you all. My background, I've been in finance, for 2 decades. Formerly a securities professional. Insurance investment was kind of my claim to fame. Third generation business owner, originally from Newark, New Jersey. Now I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina, looking to be a Houston resident here shortly. With everything we have going on, we definitely will be residing there soon. So if you're in the Houston market, we will be doing some events in Houston over the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned for that information. But I'm super excited about this. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? And so, I'm super excited about this project because just the niche market. I've been doing community development projects for over a decade, and nothing makes my heart happier than to see how people progress. So when I say how people progress, I'm gonna be candid. I'm talking about in our urban communities where people get the information the least. My background being finance, I understand there's a huge wealth gap of information. If you agree with that, I like participation, right? Can you put I agree in the chat? That is a huge gap, right, on information between certain communities, right? And so if we could help bridge the gap of information, we can help people do wealth accumulation a lot faster. And so, as Mr. Bilbo spoke about, a big part of our deal is not just development, though that is a staple of wealth accumulation, but we absolutely agree that financial literacy and education is how you help generations go to the next step. So again, take some pens and pads and jot down some notes because you're going to see at the end how Base is so different from any real estate development company you'll ever see, right? Because we have come from an education background. We're going to talk about how people can secure and leverage their properties from generation to come, right? So if that's exciting to you, I mean, put a fire in the chat if you understand that wealth, not only accumulation, but security is very, very important, that we don't lose this wealth from generation to generation. Our goal is to help people acquire it and secure it. And this is where Base niche market is totally different from other companies, right? So let's talk about this initial launch phase, right? We're in a launch phase, which means the crowdfunding raise that we're doing at this particular junction will be totally different from the development phase. So everyone should have a sense of urgency right now. If you understand getting on the front end of any project, it's the most important time, right, to get in on the front wave of the project. We have some very aggressive short-term instruments that we'll be using in this first initial phase for our network that you'll be able to get a 10% rate of return in your first 120 days, right? I didn't say 120 months, right? This is 120 days. Why is that possible, right? The transparency of it is that we have a excellent relationship and partner with a hedge fund company that will be backing the development of all Base properties, right? So put some hearts in the chat for that because we have a great relationship with a company that's going to allow us to have the leverage to build out this development. So the crowdfund raise of it is while we're in the initial drawdown of this first $5 million to build out this development, we will initiate the return of the investment to everyone that's in the Base network within 120 days. So this is why I'm saying getting in early is so important because not only can you make an investment, right, with a minimum of 25,000, which later in phase 2 is going to be 100,000, right? So right now you can get in at 25,000 as we go through this first $500,000 raise, get a 10% rate of return on your money in 120 days. And again, why is that? Is because if you understand real estate construction and development, as you're building, you have draws, right? So within our first initial draw, we will return that investment capital back to you, whether you put in 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, whatever that is, you will get that base capital back plus 10% on your money in 120 days. If that makes sense in the chat, just put make sense, right? That's the sense of urgency of how everyone in Base Network will get your ROI quickly. Is because you're coming into our initial draw, okay? Let's talk about the executive summary, right? As we go into phase 2, how this is going to work is the minimum investment in phase 2, right, will be $100,000 minimum. You will get a 10 to 15% rate of return. That's a quarterly interest payment only, right? And it will balloon at the 13 months. So what does that mean, Sloan? So let me give it to you this way. If a person put in $100,000 now, right, they have 10% on their money, right, every quarter. So you will have 4 quarterly payments within that 12 month. At that 13 month, whatever is due to you, right, you will have the 100,000 plus any other interest returned to you right on that 13 month. So for transparency of that, well, that report will come from our CPA directly to you. We have an escrow account that's put to the side specifically for the crowdfund raises, and that money to you will be returned within that time frame, right? So this is again for phase 2. Phase 1 is a sense of urgency. We're looking to close that out over the next 2 weeks. Phase 2 will be $100,000 minimum. Okay. So the project overview. So again, $2 million raise, 500,000 phase 1, 1.5 million in phase 2. Okay. $25,000 minimum right now, $100,000 minimum in phase 2, because we'll be building projects at that point. Go back one slide for me, Tara, real quick. All right, so let's talk about the phases of this deal. All right, phase 1 of the current projects. We're going to talk about Lower Copy. For those who understand Houston may know that area in Griggs, again, which is in 3rd Ward. In the future project, we're going to talk about Prairie View A&M. Student housing, and that deal is absolutely beautiful. With Terrell being an alum now, he's going to speak about that here in just a second. But our goal is to put 1,000 beds right there outside the campus. We just acquired 8 acres, man. Put some fire in the chat for that. We got 8 acres. I'm talking about within sight view of Prairie View that we could build student housing and to be able to help that amazing university be in a position that they can house more students. How is that a great market? Because the college themselves are being in a position they can take on more tuition. They'll be able to help more students. They'll be able to make sure students are comfortable. Here in North Carolina, we have a school called North Carolina Central. The students just had a crazy protest about how they don't have enough beds. Then shortly thereafter, we saw another protest, right, that happened at TSU. Same protest. It's crazy in our culture. We fought to get education and equality years ago, right? Now we have our children, which is the grandchildren of those other generation who couldn't get education. Now they're fighting because they don't have appropriate housing to be able to study. Me being a parent, I have a daughter that's in college right now that I had to pay an extra $2,500 a month. So I'm living this right now because her freshman year was priority. She had housing. Sophomore year, didn't have an adequate housing. We had to pay out of pocket for our daughter to get her education, But this was a real life case study, and I want to share this with you guys because I think it's very important of why this niche market is critical. I saw my daughter grades go up, right? They increase, right? In this semester because she had more safety, more security, more peace of mind because her housing was adequate. And she's a full-time cheerleader, all CIAA, right? And her school load, I mean, she takes 18 credit hours every semester. And the girl made the dean's list this semester, right? Because she had appropriate housing. Freshman did not have it. Sophomore year had it because she had appropriate housing. Most parents do not have the capital to pay that to give that kid that psychology peace of mind. Our goal is to be able to provide that so each student has appropriate housing to get the education that they need. Guys, that's a big daggone deal. If you're a parent and you have a kid to go to college and you understand how they feel mentally and emotionally is very important to their performance. So our goal is to do this first project with Prairie View to make sure we can help their students and then continue to duplicate that across the country. So this part of that raise would go to help these students have adequate housing also. Go ahead, Tara. Okay, so let's talk about the properties, right? The first property, one of the first properties, right? But the first property for this presentation is Laura Copy. So what's going to happen here, right? 40 affordable houses, right? 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Price range under what Houston has considered to be the affordable housing market, which is like 350,000 and under. So we want to stay 250 to around 329. So let's talk about the performer breakdown. So everyone who's invested inside of Base Network in its initial launch phase of this first 500,000, this is what happens. And even if a person's in the second phase, but I'm talking to you guys for phase one, because that's what we are. You get first rights of refusal. So what will happen at this point, you've already received your money back, right? Your money is secured. What you should do at this point is use a construction loan, which we do have lenders that's available to do that. And let's just say the average bill of that house is 150,000 and market price is 300 grand. That's 150 grand, right? 149.9 that you'll be able to make as a profit. Put profit in the chat, guys, if you're following me. So you're no longer using your capital. What we believe in group economics is leverage. You can leverage the credit that you have, get a construction loan and allow that money to pay for your construction bill. So you've made $150,000 on your home with no more money out of pocket. Guys, this is the wealth accumulation that we're talking about, that you can secure profits and grow. So now you're in a position where you've made your money from your upfront investment as well as your unit. You can say, Sloan, Bilbo, I want 2, I want 3 of them, right? Everywhere within our network, your homes will sell first. So as we do our marketing and we drum up the clients that's already pre-approved for the homes, don't worry if you don't live in Houston, that's okay, because the homes will be pre-sold off plan to qualified buyers, and everyone is in the Base Network, your homes get sold first. Put make sense in the chat, guys, if that makes sense to you. So we're talking about a project around estimated gross profit around $6 million, right? That would be divided up between the base investors of how many properties that you own within inside of this affordable housing project. I'm just excited for this one because I understand how many times people need an entry-level home. Let's talk about the second product. So right there on Griggs, we have 12 lots. That's going to be some townhomes from 4 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. The price ranges are fluctuating. Look at the financial projections on this one. For those 4 units, you're talking about 2.9 million and 8 units at 4.4. So with that construction cost of 3.6, guys, it's another $3 million of meat on the bone right there that'll be divided up. Someone said profit for me. Guys, so we want you to understand how lucrative this project is for everyone that's inside the network. You get first rights of refusal. You may say, Sloan, I want one of the townhomes, right, for my construction loan. I want to get that property, right? So you get pre-qualified ahead of time. You're already in position. It's only going to be 12 of them, right? So you could decide if you want to buy that one and sell it, if you want to hold it to be able to rent it out, if you want to do a piece of the contract for student housing with that. You have some options, right? But we want to show you guys the style of homes, right? This is already turnkey. Permits for this is already clear, right? All we have to do is go vertical. Infrastructure is already done. The water lines are already ran. The pavement is already done. Permits are already active. There's already 3 townhomes right there on those 2 lots. At this point, we're going to put another 12 there and just go vertical, guys. If that makes sense to you, put makes sense in the chat. Turnkey projects that's ready to go. All right, so let's talk about this. Now, this is dear to my heart. Why you're safe with Base. Again, let's talk about the difference of just buying a house. If you bought a house before, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see how many homeowners are on this call right now. If you went through the process before and you actually bought a home, then you're going to be able to relate to what I'm saying right now. Priscilla said a whole bunch of ones. She done bought some houses and she done sold a bunch of houses too, right? And so guys, when you buy a house, is it not true that once you get your pre-approval, you go through that process, you get your home, right? You take your picture with your key in front of it, you own your home. At that point, you're pretty much on your own, right? Your insurance being set up, right? Everything to make sure you're making your note. Your real estate agent gave you a nice gift for the purchase because they made their commission. But everything about securing your ownership is pretty much on your own from that point forward. Is that true or not true? I want to make sure we all went through the same process. When I bought my first house when I was in college, right? I was around 20, 21 years old when I bought my first home when I was still in college. When I bought that house, I was high as a kite, man. I'm just excited because I bought a home. I'm still in college. Thank you for my sister who gave me the guidance to buy a home early in life because she said it's going, give me more stability. She was absolutely right. What I wasn't prepared for when you buy a house, that you could be in a situation where you could lose that home, right? That your DTI could be thrown off, right? That property, if I would have passed, and if I didn't have a will put together and have that property protected, or I didn't have enough money in place or the right insurance in place, that property could have got stolen from my family. So that's not true ownership. Guys, what we want to talk about is the education of truly owning it. One of our closing processes with Base is this, guys. This is a part of our system that we will encourage our clients to buy the business in the LLC. Okay, why is that? Because it doesn't show up on their personal credit and their DTI stays intact. And then the business is the deed is deeded to the business. Then we would take that business and put it inside of an irrevocable trust. So now the person has access to the property, but they don't own the property. Does that make sense? Right? So now the trust owns the property, owns the business, and the business is deeded to the property. Now you in a situation, if a person ever has experienced someone elder in your family going to a nursing home or assisted living, guys, what is one of the first things that they look at? How many assets do you have? How much cash do you have? Have you ever seen a person had to liquidate their assets? You follow me? Had to liquidate their assets before they got medical assistance? Guys, I've experienced that. My background is insurance and investments. I've seen people have unfortunate situations in life and they had to liquidate. Come on, y'all. Y'all seen this before. They had to liquidate assets, right? Just to be able to be in a position to get adequate assistance. That's because they had ownership of the property. See, what we want to do is have wealth accumulation, right? Through financial literacy and education, right? We need to make sure that home is bought by a company and that company is put inside of a trust, because now you have true asset protection and ownership that they don't have to liquidate, right? They don't have to have a property that's caught up in probate, right? That property will always be secured in a family. And one thing we want to create is generational wealth inside of our community, because so many people are losing their homes because they don't have the education of how to have true sustainable wealth. And this is where Base is separated from any just real estate development company who just want to sell a home. No, we want to make sure that we keep ownership inside of the community, because this is how our community will continue to level up. I just talked to a client. She says, Sloan, I wish I would have met you 2 months ago. We lost my mom's house because we couldn't raise up the money in time. And then when we got one of my nieces to be the qualified buyer to buy the house, we had to push the closing date back about 2 weeks to get the rest of the money up. And in that process, what ended up happening of it was she was past that time and now was in foreclosure. And you know you cannot get a loan on a property as in foreclosure. True or not true? See, the system is tricky if you don't have the education. The system is tricky if you don't have the information. And you find so many homeowners that lose their home, come on, y'all, because they don't have the education and the asset is not properly protected. We stand strongly against that here in Basis. So a part of our closing process that we would teach this education, not only how to acquire wealth, but how to sustain it. Again, Basis, building, achieving, and sustaining excellence. It's great to have a beautiful house. It's great and it's excellent that you bought one, right? But can you keep it? So through our asset protection, estate planning, right, financial literacy, and building and legacy building, guys, we will sustain, right, the wealth in an excellent manner. Not just how beautiful the house is, but what's beautiful to me is if that home could be passed down from generation to generation to generation. Do you agree with that, guys? This is a part of the BASE program, how a person is safe with BASE. We want to make sure every client who get a house in Lord Copy, every person get a property in Griggs, and anything else that we build, you have true ownership, not just a mortgage. Do you own it? And you're going to own it because it's going to be inside of an irrevocable trust. So guys, I get excited about that because that's a big part to me. So let's talk about moving forward, right, with this prayer view. Then I'm going to bring up my partner, Mr. Bilbo, in just a moment as an alumni. The 8 acres that we require, those 1,000 beds that's being put in position, the monthly on that is about $650, right? So we're talking about gross revenue, about $7.8 million, right? $3 or $4 million net on this deal. Why? Because when a person goes to school, their housing is in their tuition. Is that true or not true? So we're talking about building sustainable, safe living quarters for young adults that's going to further their education in an environment that with the rental that they would take from the B housing, the parents don't have to come out of pocket like I did for my daughter. I love her to life. But as a girl, I'm paying for 2 households. I'm paying for my house and your house. You know what I'm saying? But it was important to me. But what if, just what if that housing can be tied into their financial aid or their fund that they get from school? The school is going to put that inside of their package anyway. With the relationship we made with Prairie View University, that rental that they pulled down from the financial institution for the kids' housing would pay for their dormitory stay on the base property. Guys, put a heart in the chat if you're excited about that, because I'm truly excited about people having good, safe housing to further their education. So I'm gonna let Mr. Bilbo talk about this because he had an experience on campus at Prairie View as alumni. So I'm gonna let you take care of that as we wrap up on the financial side of this project. Go right ahead, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. So guys, 1998, I arrived at Prairie View's campus, football scholarship. So for me, of course, because I played ball, I had somewhere to stay. But when I look around, there was about 2,000 kids at that particular time that didn't have anywhere to stay. And I don't know why God dropped it in my spirit, but at that point, I put together a plan. I wanted to build 24 2-bedroom, 2 baths, right? So at the time, my girlfriend at the time, her dad was an architect. So went to him, put the plans together. And then my cousin was the vice president of Washington Mutual at the time. So I took it to him and said, look, cuz, this is what I want to do. This is the problem. This is what it is. I'm 18. I'm excited, and he said, cuz, you probably going to need about $1 million to do this. And of course, if anybody's been 18 and you understand, we don't have no rich uncles or anything like that. So I said, well, I guess I better focus on football because I don't know how I'm going to get $1 million. But the other day, guys, I did the math to it. 1998, 2025, that's 27 years. 27 years later, we secured 8 acres, 3 minutes from Prairie View. And I said, man, look at God. It doesn't matter when he dropped the mission in your spirit. As long as you keep walking forward, you'll get to the end of it, man. So that's why this is near and dear to my heart right here. But to be able to finish this project that I started or thought about and had the vision, 27 years ago, man, this is super special. So that I just had to tell everybody that, man, this is a special project. We're gonna help a lot of kids, and we're gonna improve, like my brother Sloan said, we're gonna improve the educational environment for these kids, which is so important. So that's what I wanted to say about that, brother.
Man, that's a big deal, man. Put a heart in the chat, man, for 27 years later, man. For to be around to see the vision come to fruition, man. 20 something years later, man. Hey, listen, it's a blessing to even have it and a bigger blessing to live it through, man. So I'm proud of you, man, for being in the stick and stay on that. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. So we told you it's gonna be 30 minutes, guys. So we're gonna wrap this up in the next 5 to 7 minutes. So we can get you guys in and out of here from this luncheon. But if you enjoyed yourself so far, this has been good to you. Put a 7 in the chat, man. The number of completion. If this message has resonated with you already, if what we're doing has resonated with you to get an understanding what BASE is all about, something beyond just a real estate development corporation, but something that can truly make impact in the community to accumulate wealth and be in a situation where we can secure wealth and sustain it, right? We want the excellence of the wealth in our community to be sustained long term. So again, in this phase, guys, you got first rights to be able to get in right now. And so let's talk about the back half, right? So as we get into the second round, 100,000 minimum, I talked about that. Again, 1.5 million is going to be raised in the second phase, 10 to 15% ROI with quarterly payments, right? That's second round. Go ahead, Bilbo. All right, so let's keep driving as we wrap this up. Right. So building inside the network, this is very, very important. You can screenshot this if you would like. And so you get first rights of refusal. So what does that mean? As I said earlier, you get a chance to choose how many of those properties you want, right? Then you get an opportunity to be able to build that cost. So what does that mean? What it costs us to be able to build that home, right? You get like a wholesale rate on building a construction home. One of the biggest things in real estate, when you have a person, and there you guys that's agents on here, you're going to understand what I'm about to say clearly because you do it every day. People want to buy homes with equity in it. True or not true? Do people want to buy homes with equity? Of course they do, right? Because they get an opportunity to be able to pull down off their equity if they want to, and they have more liquidity, right, for anything they need in their future. So when you're building that cost, guys, you automatically have equity in your home. We're building at an opportunity to be way below market value. This is why being inside the network, partnering with a development company is so important, because you guys get first rights of refusal. And remember, it's going to come from your construction loan, not out of pocket. So you're already secured. So that profit there for you is absolutely substantial of what you're going to be able to get because you're in the network. So the first 5-10 people, whoever take up that first wave of that 500,000, that first phase, that's going to be cut off, and everybody gets that first rights of refusal. Everyone in the second phase, you still get the same benefits, but the minimum is going to be a little higher to get in, and the ROI time frame is going to be 12 and 24 months. But all you guys get inside the network, you get an opportunity to accumulate your wealth because at a wholesale rate, because you're in the network, which is flat out awesome. Go ahead, Big Bo. All right, so let's go a couple scenarios. Let's just say investor one, you put in 100,000, you got your 10% ROI. Cool. So you get a tiny home built on lower copy. On that deal, you're looking at a net profit of about 149,000, 150 grand. So you got 10% on your money, so you made $10,000. Great, right? Remember, in the first 120 days, right now, if you do it now in the next 2 weeks, in the first 120 days, guys, you're good now. On this deal, you're going to go 12 months, right? 12 months for this particular situation and get that 10 grand. You got 150 grand you made. You got 260 in 12 months you made. Not a bad investment, right? So if you guys were in a position to be able to make 160 grand profit in 12 months, would that be a good situation? Somebody say yes or no. Is that a good situation? If you can make 160 grand extra on top of what you're already doing, buying and building at a wholesale, is that good? Okay, investor two, right? You put in $250,000, you got a 15% ROI. So you made $75,000 passively on your money, right? Now we know most things in banks is not giving 10 or 15%, right, on your money. True or not true, right? And so when you look at that, you make 75 grand on your money. Now the equity from the properties, building that wholesale, you made another 450 grand, guys. You're talking about if you can make 500,000 off of the existing money that you have right now within the next 24 months, without having to pick up a hammer or a nail or be on a construction site with a hard hat, Is that a good investment? If you can make $500,000 in the next 24 months without physically doing any labor, we understand cash flow quadrant that from a business owner who becomes an investor, the goal is for your money to make money for you. Again, Base is a financial company also, so we got to teach this principle. So is $500,000 a good turnaround time in 24 months for your money to make money for you? I want you guys to answer that for me. Is that a good rate of return? Do you guys feel that way? I feel like it's amazing. How many more people feel the same way? I see a couple yeses in there. Okay, good stuff. Okay, we on the same page. I mean, I just want to make sure that you guys thought $500,000 was a good turnaround time with no labor, right? Just money making money for you because of the partnership with Base that you created. All right, go ahead, Tara. So you got two good scenarios. So let's talk about how we mitigated risk as we wrap this up. Quarterly payments, asset secured, right? The security of that capital, right? Protected through a real assets, right? Transparent reporting because we'll have reports coming out every quarter from our CPA, and you got a clear exit strategy. One of the biggest things is again going to an investment. If you're doing a fix or flip, or if you're doing a wholesale deal, is that you're still trying to feel your way through of how to get out of that property. We already have a clear plan. It's going to be built. We're marketing to make sure we have qualified buyers is ready to go. And so we already got the price point for the market. So for you to get out an exit strategy to get your investment, back to you straight up is pretty clear. Would you guys agree with that? So not only do you understand the clarity of how your money comes to you up front, but you understand the exit strategy on the back end. So building within our community long term, guys, we're looking for long term relationships. We're going to build this network to hundreds of different affiliates, 100 of different people that want to be investors, 100 different people that's going to partner. Long term is what we're looking for. We're not looking for short term relationships, guys. These projects are going to take us months and years to develop, and we want to create a new workshops, seminars, and educational platforms to teach the community how to be great through wealth accumulation with financial literacy and education. So we're going to sustain our development again through this working capital, but we want to be together long term. Go ahead, Tel. And I think we got one more slide and we out of here. There we go. So you can screenshot this one, guys. If you to get in contact with us, either I invited you or Mr. Billboy invited you or want somebody in between. But to get in contact with us right now, guys, please do. We're going to do a Q&A, but we're looking for partners, right? We do have an opportunity for those of you who have huge networks that we have a 5% on capital raise that we can send you that information if you have a big network and you have investors that invest in projects. We don't mind rewarding people who are a part of the network again also, so we can talk about that. But let's do a follow-up if you're interested, and if you're a person that on this call right now, if you can do me a solid, I'm talking to, put a one in the chat if what I said to you that you have some interest right now working with Base. Can you put a one in the chat just so we can see if anything that we said and you have an interest and you feel like this type of project is the type of project that you like to work on and be a part of. If you could put a one in the chat, if this is kind of in your wheelhouse, right? The education, the financial literacy, how to secure assets long term, good upfront, all around your money, good long term sustainability on the back end. If there's something that you like, guys, let's talk about it. And again, if you're a person that you want to get some questions answered, again, the Q&A, we're going to open it up now. But again, we'll follow back up with you and we can have a conversation one-on-one just to get all your questions answered so you can make an educated decision on how do you move forward in your particular situation. In this launch phase, you can get it at 25,000 minimum. In this phase only over the next couple of weeks. And so we want you guys, as all of you the 30 who hopped on this call, to be a part of that launch phase and secure your spot. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Mr. Bilbo. Guys, we appreciate your time and we look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. God, put some fire in the chat for Brother Sloan. Excellent presentation. And like you said, the opportunity is on the table, guys. We're looking for long-term situations, long-term partnerships. So if that's you and you're ready to do something different in your life, if you've been thinking about, hey, man, this is something that I've been wanting to do, but I didn't know enough, I don't have the resources, that's what we're here for. The base is here to be that one-stop shop for everybody. So whether it's credit, whether it's funding, whether it's construction, regardless of what you need, we want to make sure that we're here to provide for you. So with that being said, we'll stop it now. And then if we have any questions, we'll open up the floor now.
going on, family? It's your boy Aiden Dynamite Sloan, the living legend.
Terrell Bilbo, the crypto consultant.
Listen, we are here at the Money Talk Show podcast, man. Listen, the creation of this deal to make sure you understand the real talk that come to money and get in position with that deal. This show was created for everybody across the nation who need to understand how money really works. Like, listen, money talks. At the end of the day, is a blueprint to this deal. So on this show, we're going to make sure you get all the sauce to make sure you get in position.
And then I'm going to make sure that you know everything that's going on in the crypto space. This is the largest transfer of wealth that we'll see in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everybody is in position.
So make sure you strap up your seatbelts. We're about to go for a ride. Tune in. Let's get it popping. Money Talk Show. Let's get it.
Let's go.